Hey everybody, Manny Talabear here, and I want to welcome you all to day 3 of the seven-figure climb. And the seven-figure climb is all about going from 0 to 7 figures, and it's more designed for people who are coaches, consultants, and course creators. We're going to give you a lot of insights, and what I'm going to do is I'm wanting you to follow me on my journey as I go from 0 to 7 figures, and we're going to basically show you everything that happens in between there. And then today's video, we're going to be talking about marketing assets. In my opinion, the bottom line is how much money you're going to ultimately make is going to be determined based on how many marketing assets you have. The more marketing assets you have, the more money you will make. The fewer marketing assets, the less money you will make. It does not matter how good you are at what you do. It doesn't matter how long you've been studying or what your expertise is. You can be the foremost expert in the world, but if you don't have people who can see your offers and purchase, you're not going to make any money. And so we're gonna talk about that. Now, I was planning on actually talking about marketing assets, all of the we're going to give you some insights, and then I was going to go over all the marketing assets I have, as well as the marketing liabilities. Unfortunately, we're not going to get into liabilities. And so I'll tell you what happened. Day 3, we're already behind. I actually created the video for day 3. We created it and I got it uploaded about 9 p.m. And then I found there was a slight mistake in the video and I decided to reshoot it. Wouldn't be a problem, except the video was about 45 minutes. And so when I reshot the video, was about 50 minutes. I did everything and I uploaded it to YouTube, and for some reason the tech gremlins got me and the video would not process. And the problem is I had no idea. I actually uploaded everything, took all of the URLs, I shared it out into all of my groups, and I came back 3 hours later after midnight and saw that the video was not processing and I couldn't get it to process. So I'm reshooting at 3 a.m. And so we're not going to talk about liabilities, because if we did, I'd be another 2 hours finishing this. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the 5 keys to scaling to 7 figures. I'm going to walk you through these. And after I do that, I'm going to go through all of the marketing assets that I feel I have. Don't be concerned if I have a lot of things that you don't have, or you have a lot of things I don't have. Everyone's going to have a different amount of marketing assets. Everyone's going to have different skill sets and things. And so what you really want to do, though, is you just want to measure what you have and what everything looks like. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the 5 things that I feel like anyone needs in order to make 7 figures. The first thing that you need is you need a product or service that delivers high transformational value to a group of people, and you need to be able to charge a high price for that. So we're going to walk you through this because there's 2 different parts. The first part is you've got to have something that delivers high transformational value. You've got to solve a very big problem in the marketplace. If you're not solving a big problem in the marketplace, people aren't going to need to buy from you. You've got to be solving a big problem in the marketplace. People do not buy coaching and people do not buy courses. People buy solutions to problem. The bigger the problem you solve in the marketplace, the more you will be able to charge for it. And that's what you want to think about. So the first part of this is you've got to solve a very big problem. And then the second part is you need to charge a lot of money for it. When you're thinking about building this whole thing out, you really need to think about the money math behind everything that you're doing. And you should be able to do all of this money math in your head. I'm going to walk you through it and I'm going to tell you what it looks like. So if you're charging $1,000, you need 1,000 buyers. $1,000 at 1,000 buyers is $1 million. 500 buyers at 2,000 is $1 million. 400 buyers at 2,500 is $1 million. 200 buyers at 5,000 is $1 million. 100 buyers at $10,000 is $1 million. The more you charge, the fewer buyers you need. So ultimately, the easier it is going to be to get to the $1 million. When you're thinking about doing this, you got to keep in mind that in order to actually get this thing to work, you're going to need to scale Facebook ads. And in order to scale Facebook ads, you're going to need you're going to need ad spend. And the problem is it's very, very difficult to make $1 million selling something at the $300 or $500 level, because you need so many leads and conversions. You need so many buyers. And the more buyers you are, the more it costs. And unfortunately, if you're selling something at the $300 to $500 price range, it's going to be very, very difficult to scale that to $1 million. Now, having said that, it is certainly fine to sell something at that level and use that money to scale Facebook ads for another offer. So you can start out with something lower dollar, and you can use that to get the money that you're going to need to scale. But like I said, when you're doing this, you need to think about high transformational value, high fee. That's what you want to think about on number one. Number two, you need to build an audience of potential buyers. It does not matter what you're selling. If you do not have an audience of potential buyers, it's going to be hard to sell anything to anyone. And the better you are at what you do, and the more successful you feel in your mind, the more frustrated you are going to be if you build something great and you cannot sell it to anyone because you do not have an audience of people to sell it to. Now, that audience can be on a YouTube channel, it can be in a Facebook group, it can be on your personal Facebook page, it can be in Twitter, it can be anywhere on the interwebs. But the main thing is you need to build that audience and deliver a lot of value to those people. Without an audience of potential buyers, it's very difficult to sell anything to anyone. In addition to that audience, you need to build an email list. It's going to be very, very difficult to scale, pretty much impossible to scale without building an email list. What you want to think about is we have traffic that we control and traffic that we don't control. Traffic we do not control are Facebook groups, Facebook in general, YouTube, Twitter. We don't control those platforms. Those platforms are controlled by other people. What we do control, though, is email. And so what I mean by that is if you send an email to 10,000 people, that email goes to 10,000 people. If you make a video and put it in front of 100,000 people, maybe YouTube shows it to 2 people, maybe they show it to 50 people, maybe they show it to all 100,000. But what you want to think about when you're doing this is you have to put that information in front of people who could buy from you. And we're going to have traffic that we control and traffic we don't control. So the first thing you need to do is create a product or service that has high transformational value that we're going to sell for a high price. Number two is you need to build an audience of potential buyers. Number three is you need a system for putting the offer in front of people who could buy from you. So you're going to need to develop systems, and those systems are going to include Kajabi or Kajabi or Thinkific. So if you're selling courses, you're going to have course delivery software that puts that course in front of people once they buy. You're going to need funnel software like ClickFunnels or Go High Level or some kind of funnel software like that. You are also going to need to be able to collect emails and communicate with people by email. I use GetResponse. Another great thing is if you use Go High Level, ClickFunnels, Kajabi, a lot of those platforms also have email built in, but you absolutely are going to need a system for getting your offer in front of people so that they can buy it. You're going to need funnels. You're going to need a way to create that. Now, this is the thing. There are many ways to create a funnel. Making a video live and offering something to someone that causes them to send you a DM as a funnel. The problem, though, is ultimately you're going to need to scale something with ads. And in order to scale something with ads, you're going to need to use all that tech and that software. And so that's what you want to be thinking about there. So the third thing is you're going to need systems for putting the offer in front of people. Number four, and I think this is extremely important, if you want to scale to 7 figures, you are going to need to find someone who is an expert in traffic. And that traffic can be YouTube traffic and be Facebook traffic, wherever you're going to run ads. You're going to need to find an expert who can help you to scale that offer. Money does not come from creating anything. Money comes from selling it. And I can tell you, I'm an expert in marketing, but there is no situation where I'm going to attempt running YouTube ads or Facebook ads. I'm going to have someone else do that for me, someone who's an expert at that, because the it's all about speed, and that's what you want to think about. We're going to talk about that a lot here. Speed, getting everything done in speed and getting things to work really, really fast is the thing that will get you the most momentum. And like I said, you can be an expert at what you do, but thinking you're going to go out there and create a Facebook ad or YouTube ads and get those ads to scale when you're not an expert at that, and that is a mistake. And most people struggle with those things. And so you're going to need to find someone who's an expert in traffic. And the last thing that you're going to need to scale to 7 figures is you're going to need runway. And runway is simply the money that it costs to get this thing that you have scaled and off the ground, where it's actually, you're spending X amount of dollars every day on ads. You're bringing in more money than that every day on ads. So you have money to roll into more ads, and you can scale the thing, which means, and scaling is all about rolling the money over and spending more and more and more money on ads every single month. And that's what you want to think about here. And so I'm going to walk you through this. Then we're going to talk about runway for a few more minutes. So number one, you need a product or service with high transformational value that you can charge a high price for. Number two, you need an audience of potential buyers. You're going to use that audience of potential buyers, and you can even use your personal Facebook page to deliver value to people and sell them something in order to get the money to run ads and scale. And that's what you want to think about there. The third thing is you're going to need a system for putting your offer in front of people. The fourth thing you're going to need is you're going to need someone who's an expert in traffic to run your ads. And the fifth thing you're going to need is runway. And again, runway is simply the amount of money that it's going to take you to get this thing off the ground and get the rocket launched, or get the snowball moving downhill, where it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so how it works, if you're doing it right, let's say you spend $15,000 on ads, and those ads produce $30,000 in revenue the first month. So we spend $15,000 in ads, we get $30,000 back. The next month we spend $30,000 in ads. Now, if we continue to do this and we do it right, the second month we spend $30,000 and we get $60,000 back. We take the $60,000 and we roll it all over and we get $120,000 back. We spend the $120 and we get $240 back. And we continue to up ad spend and scale ads and get this thing real momentum, and we blow the thing up. And that's how you make millions and millions of dollars. The people who do it wrong, what they do is they spend $15,000 on ads and they make $20,000 or $25,000, and then the next month they spend $15,000 again, and they take that extra money and they spend it. They invest it in lifestyle and toys and things like that. If you want to scale, you got to be willing to roll the money back into that, roll all of your excess money aside, everything that you need to live, back into ads. And so, not telling you not to take any money off the table, but what I'm telling you is, if you're doing it right, you're increasing the amount of ad spend as you get ads to work every single month. And that's what you want to think about. And most people will not talk about runway. Gary Vaynerchuk talks a lot about runway. Most people go broke because they do not have enough runway to get the thing, get momentum and get the thing off the ground. For me, it's going to cost about $15,000. Plus, I need about $7,500 to pay off other things. And so my number right now is $22,500. That's what I'm working on putting together. And that's what I'm going to use to build this thing. And what you want to think about is you need to be coming up with a number that you're going to need for runway to get the thing to take off. And again, how you do this is very simple. You basically create an organic offer that works. We have an organic offer that works. We're putting people through a funnel. They're buying it. We take that excess money from that funnel, and we now take that funnel that's working, and we put traffic to it. And basically, traffic is an accelerant. It's like pouring gas on a fire. So we've got something that's working already. We pour traffic into that funnel. a lot of traffic in that funnel, and we scale it up. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk about the marketing assets that I have. I'm going to go over these with you and give you some insights. And again, we will probably talk about, some of the liabilities I have, some things that are working against me in day 4 or 5. Not sure exactly what we'll cover here, but we're just going to go through these. So the first asset I have is I'm hugely passionate about this. I've been doing this since 2006, 2007-ish. So around 17 or 18 years. So when you look at that, I've been doing it. I love doing it. I've studied marketing over 15,000 hours. I probably went through 500 courses, and I just eat, drink, and sleep this. And I've spent a lot of time making no money doing it. And so you like I said, you got to have a huge passion for it, because you're going to spend a lot of time trying on trial and error, and funnels aren't going to work and things aren't going to work when you first try them out. And that's a huge asset that I'm hugely passionate about it and love doing it. The second asset is that I've studied marketing over 15,000 hours. So I've studied every big name in the space: Dan Kennedy, Frank Kern, Jay Abraham, Chet Holmes, Evan Pagan, Dan Sullivan, and Joe Polish. And I could probably name 50 other names that you all recognize, and then another 20 or 30 names that you probably might not recognize. I'm sure I went through well over 500 courses, and I still get up and study marketing about every day. If I'm not working with someone on marketing or working with my own content, I'm generally studying. So I still sharpen the saw every day. The next thing is I have created over 80 products and courses, and I've got really, really good at creating courses on the fly very fast. And that's a huge asset, because not everything works when you first try to do something. And so if we're going to iterate, if we're going to have to create something, we create something, it doesn't work, we need to create something else. I'm going to be very, very good at putting something else out there very, very fast. And so the fact that I have the skill of creating content and courses on a pretty quick is going to be really valuable. Now, I've also done over 3,000 strategy sessions and worked with over 300 clients. Now, the benefit of this is I've done a lot of coaching. And so because I've done a lot of coaching, there's another aspect of this that if we just end up selling coaching, it's not going to be a problem for me. I don't have any issues talking with people, doing strategy sessions. I've done over 3,000 of those. I've worked with a lot of people, and I've worked with a lot of people in different niches. And so again, this is a body of what's going to help me moving forward. The next asset is my ability to talk to people cold, without any real prep. And what I mean by that is, when I first started out, we would go from DM to a telephone call, or DM to a Zoom call. And I still do that from time to time. Sometimes people want to schedule a call, and we will schedule something through Schedule Once, and we won't talk to them for a little while. But I don't have any fear of going from cold to on a call. I'm very, very confident in my ability to help people. And so I'm not concerned about, I don't need any prep time to do that. And so that's going to be helpful if we end up selling some type of coaching where I'm going to be selling through strategy session. That will be valuable. Now, the next thing is I've shot over 2,500 hours of video, and that number might be very low. I can't imagine. I've created over 80 courses. I have no idea how many videos that would be. I've done a metric ton of lives. I've done a metric ton of YouTube content. And so the 2,500 hours may be low, but that is going to be beneficial, because I don't have any problems getting in front of a camera. And I'm pretty good at working with Kajabi and Camtasia. Kajabi, Camtasia, and PowerPoint, as far as creating video that way. And so anything that I need to create, I'm going to be able to create that pretty fast. Now, these next assets, honestly, I don't think they're assets. We're going to talk about it for a few minutes, but I do have a private Facebook group that's local, 16,700 people. I've got 9,000 between my personal page and my followers. There's 9,000 there, and I got 16,700 in the coaches, consultants, and course creators group. So actually, I think the number just hit 16. I think we're just at 16 in the Newcastle group. So 16 plus 9 is 25, plus 17 is 35, 44,700 people. It's a lot of people, but I don't really look at these as an asset. I can tell you, just to give you some insight, I put video one into I put video one in both groups, and I put video one on my personal page. And I think I didn't even get 20 or 25 views from YouTube to YouTube from all of that traffic. And so we have a large audience, but I can tell you, I don't think there's any value in it. I'm not going to make any money from selling to these groups. I'm not going to make any money selling on my own personal page. I might get a handful of people to buy from me, but it's not going to bring in the money that I need to scale. We're going to have to figure out a way to drive revenue there. The next thing is I do have a lot of different vehicles. So I'm an expert in course creation, I'm an expert in coaching, and I'm an expert in marketing. And so between course creation, coaching, and marketing, I've got a lot of different vehicles I can offer out, which is going to come in very handy if we have something that we put out that doesn't work and we have to iterate. And what you want to think about is you need to think about the vehicle that you're going to put in front of the audience that's going to give you the money. And fortunately for me, I do have a number of different vehicles that we can use. And what's also great is we can sell something I've created in the past. We can sell something that I'm going to create live. We can sell something I'm going to create in the future. I can sell coaching where I don't have to create anything. So we've got a lot of opportunity there. And what we're essentially saying is I've got a lot of different things that we can sell, which is a huge asset. Now, the other thing is I don't have any fear of speaking in front of large groups. That's not going to be a problem for me. And I don't think I have the most charisma or the right amount of charisma, but I do think I have enough charisma to get me there. And I think that when you're looking at all of this stuff, you have to be likable. You have to have a fairly easygoing personality, and you got to be able to put a message out there in front of people, and you got to have a little bit of charisma. And I feel like that if I could get a little bit more persona, I think it would help. But I do think that I have enough to get me there. Now, the other thing is the thing that goes right along with that is self-esteem. My self-esteem, as far as my ability to help people, is very, very high. I do believe that I have something of value. I do believe I have something that can help people. I don't have any issues at all with that. My biggest issue is that I can't get the offers in front of people who can see me to buy. Like I put an offer in front of 17,700 people and no one sees it. As a matter of fact, I put an offer today in front of 17,700 with the Add Everyone tag. So I've had 2 people ask for a link. Yesterday I did this and no one asked for a link. Facebook is just not showing the traffic to anyone. I'm just not going to get any action from there. And so that's going to be an issue. And the other thing is I am surrounded by a large amount of smart, like-minded people. I do have a lot of people who are internet marketing friends who have made a lot of money, who have made millions of dollars in the space. I probably have 200 or 300 people minimum on my Facebook account who have made over $1 million. I don't know what the number is. I've never went and counted them, but I'm sure it's at least 200 people, and it could be 300. And I interact with these people on a daily basis. And some of those people I actually talk to on the phone. And so I am interacting with people who do very, very well in the space. And my last asset, and I think my biggest marketing asset, one of the biggest marketing assets, is I do have someone who's going to help me with traffic once we're able to raise the money to scale. This person has actually made over $300 million for clients. This person's willing to help me with Facebook ads. Once we get something ready to go, they're going to run my ads for me. And this person has 13 two Comma Club awards, 2 10X awards, and a $100 million award, and I think another $75 million award. It's very, very, like, she's got ClickFunnels on speed dial. Russell Brunson sends her another record every 2 weeks, and not only does he send her another record, she's actually working with Russell. And so, in my opinion, she's probably in the top 10 in the world at what she does, and as far as the U.S., probably in the top 5. And the reason I feel like this is like my biggest asset, and because I understand how this all works. Money comes from scaling offers. Like, if you want to make $1 million, you got to scale an ad. That's what you got to do. It's just not going to happen organically. You're not going to get organic traffic to scale to 1 million. I mean, I have an audience of 45 or 50,000 people, and I don't make any money. And that tells you all that you need to know about organic. And this is the thing. I'm not telling you not to build a private Facebook group. I'm telling you, though, don't build a private Facebook group past 10,000 members, because what's going to happen, Facebook's just going to kill it. They're going to turn the traffic off. And so if you're going to build one, run it up to 7,500 people, sell a lot of stuff to those people, and then create another one, rather than trying to get down to 15,000, because if you do, Facebook will kill the traffic. And so we're going to end here, and we will continue right where we left off tomorrow. And again, I apologize that we're running the 3 or 4 hours behind here. The tech gremlins just got me on this one. I don't know what happened, but do me a huge favor. If you could like the video, if you could make a comment on the video, if you could subscribe to the channel, and then, you know, if you could hit the notification icon so you get the notifications every time we put a video out, that would really help me as far as the algorithm. But I really appreciate each and every one of you all, and we will be back. I will see you all in a few hours, and thanks a lot.